Hello and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be reviewing the new mythical, Mochi. Hold on, look at this thing. Is this thing alive? Do you hear that? This thing's spiky as hell. Who put a sea urchin under my fruit? This is going to be painful, but anything for the video, I guess. Usually the first skill is always Z, but if you have Mochi and you get Ken V2, it will unlock a G skill called Future Sight. When Observation Haki is activated, it will make your Mochi act like a Logia. You can get up to 13 Future Sight dodges. Mochi Barrage is a mouse aim skill. Just like the Kage skill Shadow's Grasp, you can aim this basically anywhere. The barrage works really well with the greatsword because the barrage doesn't stop when you're switching to a weapon. So while they're still being pummeled by the barrage, you can pull them in with Eternal Flow and do more combos. This skill is really useful because it gives you enough time to use skills that have a wind up. The best moment to use the barrage is during an up tilt, and then just use any high damaging wind up skill you have at your disposal. This is a really solid first skill. Well, technically second skill, but yeah. So Power Mochi is essentially the light lunge of Mochi. It's a very fast, long-range guard breaker. It's best used as a combo finisher after you've ragdolled someone, since it can reach very far. You can add this at the end of a Mochi Barrage combo, just for the extra violation. First do 5 M1s with the greatsword, then use the barrage and start running towards your opponent, just so they can be in range of Eternal Flow, make it last as long as possible and then up tilt them, fling them away with Slayer Cross Slash, and boom, hit them with Power Mochi. Look at my HP, I love Mochi combos. Just like the Barrage, Mochi Drops is a mouse aim move, but for PvP it's not as reliable. Even though you can aim it, the hits are a bit more random. So instead of using it as a combo starter, I recommend doing the E combo as usual, knock them away and then use Mochi Drops. This is a much better combo finisher than Power Mochi because it has a lot more AoE which makes it harder to run from, and it does more damage too. Mochi Donut Roll is Mochi's travel skill, and it's a really good one. As you just saw, it can scale up walls. And I believe it's the second fastest travel move in the game after the Pika Flight, and it only takes stamina once. The downside though is you can't use it to travel from island to island, and it only lasts a certain amount of time before it ends automatically. So I'd still choose Ice Bike or Pika Flight over this. Love the wall climbing though. The special thing about this travel skill is you can actually damage people with it. That being said, it's not that useful for PvP. At this precise moment, I could have easily Geppo'd away. Also, it's completely unreliable for an up tilt combo for so many reasons. First, sometimes you can go straight through your opponent and the damage just doesn't register. This might get patched eventually, but yeah, it's really annoying. The second reason is, if you hold T even a tiny bit too long, you'll dash too far. But also, if you press T too quickly, the move won't happen. And the third reason is simply, why would you go through all this effort to land an unreliable move for a grand total of 37 damage? It's a good travel skill, but I wouldn't rely on it for PvP when there are way better options. Chestnut Mochi is like the light ray of Mochi. I think this is the highest tick damage I've ever seen. And even if you get perfect blocked, it doesn't cancel it. And it lasts for ages too. And the crazy thing is, it doesn't drain that much stamina either. If you're fighting a really stubborn player who won't stop blocking, this will absolutely melt their guard. And even if they use their full block, they'll still take at least 100 damage from it. Let's see what it does to Tekai. It melted more than half of it. Like I said though, Chestnut is the light ray of Mochi, which means it's more of a PvE thing than a PvP thing. I asked him to lower me so my Geppo would be as slow as possible, and then use Chestnut. Watch what happens. Yep, I'm literally avoiding every single spike. So I wouldn't use this in PvP if I were you. There's not much to say about Mochi Burning Punch, to be honest. It's useless for up tilts because even if you press it instantly, the wind-up's too long. So the move just flies over the player's head. Even if you try to aim downwards, it still doesn't work. The burn damage isn't anything amazing either. I think it's a bit less than Mirror, correct me if I'm wrong. The range also isn't that impressive, especially when compared to Power Mochi. Power Mochi goes pretty far, but we're struggling to reach each other with Burning Mochi Punch. It is a good guard breaker though. The Mochi ultimate has a very slow wind up, so just to make sure you don't miss it, quickly press E first and then C. I swear, E is so useful, man. In terms of damage, how long you spin them around for makes no difference. The first hit happens when you catch them for about 50 damage, and the second hit is when you slam them into the ground for nearly 100 damage. Rounding it up and being nice, that's 150 damage at best, and for an ult that is not great. The cool thing about this ult though, is the range gets bigger the longer you hold it. A couple seconds ago I couldn't reach the NPC, but now I can. I'm about to reach that other one too, yep, there we go. The range ends up becoming huge, so maybe this could be useful on the Colosseum map in ranked 1v1s if you're fighting a runner. Where do I begin? Mochi is godly in all aspects of PvE. The most effective way to farm with Mochi is simply aggro the entire NPC group with the ult. Just keep spinning until you've caught them all. We're only using the ult for aggro here. Then just Geppo away, gather them up, and hold Z. This is so brain dead, just watch this. Done. Catch all the ships with the ult, and then just one-shot all of them. But it looks like that doesn't happen anymore, so I guess Foyu patched it. I tried again later with 200 more stat points in Fruit, and it didn't work. Still, Chestnut's very helpful to kill ships from far away. Mochi might be good for ship farming, but it's not godly like it used to be. And finally, Mochi in dungeons. Okay, so do you remember the good old days where you could hold a move until all the NPC gathered together and you could one-shot them? And you know how you can't really do that anymore because all the NPC block and slow down until your move automatically fires? Well, it turns out you can hold Burning Mochi Punch forever. Now, even though the process of waiting for them to gather is slow, it's 100% worth it in the high waves. And then boom, one-shot. At higher waves like wave 19 and beyond, the initial damage doesn't one-shot, but so far the burning damage always finishes them off. It's perfectly fine for boss waves as well. I just prepare the ult before they spawn, keep my distance and use E and Y, Geppo around until they've wasted their ult, and then I just kill them with the Chestnut. And the second boss is no big deal because you can just spam E and Y from afar. If a Pika user spawns, just wait till they use the ult because they're just floating in the air, which is the perfect opportunity to use Chestnut. Note to self for next time, Geppo high if there's a Mirror user. So is Mochi worth the insane offers it's being traded for right now? Short answer, yeah. It's really powerful in both PvP and PvE, and definitely deserves its mythical rating, especially when compared to Tori. However, despite it being a mythical, it's not perfect. The damage of the ult, and it being kinda mid in ship farming now, makes it lose points for me. Still though, brilliant fruit, I can't give it anything lower than a 9 out of 10. Let me know if you agree or if you disagree in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.